What up? This is High Definition Podcast. I'm Maurice,
Yo, it's Torez.
and we are back for another episode. My brother, how's everything going?
Everything was good, man. How was your weekend?
Listen, Wilmington with the band,
Bet.
back home.
Got you. Got you.
What about yours?
Work. Let the crew go home early. All weekend. Got home early Sunday. Yeah. Chilled the day with Will, man.
Sound like a plan to me.
Yeah. So, nothing too much.
Oh, yeah. Listen, everybody, y'all know how we do. We are here for conversation. Our conversation, y'all know us, all various topics. We try to come from a biblical perspective. You're more than welcome. You can agree. You can disagree with us. We welcome it. Only thing we don't welcome is the disrespect. So, hey, we just want to get you thinking. We just want to get the conversation started. That's what we're here for. So, without further ado, today we are having a much-needed conversation around the topic of policing in the community, policing and racial reconciliation, things of that nature. We're going to try to touch on different aspects of the conversation. It's a multi-layered conversation, as you already know, but we're going to try to touch on as much of it as we can today.
Just to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, we just want to get it started. That's all. So our guest today is Officer Reginald Spurgeon from right here in the city of Spartanburg. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm fine, sir. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure
Please,
to be here.
yes, sir. Tell the people a little bit about yourself. How long have you been in police force? And
Well, I'm investigator Reginald Spurgeon. I'm with the City of Spartanburg. I work in juvenile services. I've been in juvenile services now for about 8 years. Prior to that, investigations, narcotics, from Greenville County, patrolled in Greenville County 6 years. Been here 24 years. October the 4th will be my 25th year here.
Oh, wow.
wow. So, what got you into the career of policing and things of that nature?
Well,
in public service.
I actually never wanted to be the police, to be honest. I majored in criminal justice at South Carolina State College. It was South Carolina State College back then. Now it's South Carolina State University.
Bulldogs.
Yes, go Bulldogs. No to Aggies. But anyway, I majored, and then I found a need for men of color to get in this field, law enforcement, because I didn't see many growing up. Matter of fact, I saw few. My dad wanted to be a law enforcement officer, but back then, discrimination was so great, he couldn't get in. So in order to fulfill his dream, I got in law enforcement.
Wow. So, do you still see that we need more officers of color? Would you say we need more in the force today? Based on what you see over your years, would you say there should be a little bit more?
I think the field is open. Do we need more? Yeah, we need more of everything, especially law enforcement, the way the climate is today. We need more Hispanics. We need more Asians. We need a lot more people to make our law enforcement a little bit more diverse. But as far as leadership in our community, if you look at the news, you'll see a lot of leaders that look like you that's heading our departments. You see a lot of females in this business now that's heading law enforcement. Years in the past, that didn't happen. You didn't see it. And see, now people like us, we have a little more empathy. And I think people are changing. Our law enforcement has given itself a black eye, I'd say. Let me say this also. What I say doesn't represent the city of Spartanburg. Okay, that's my disclaimer. Doesn't represent Spartanburg Public Safety Department, Spartanburg Police Department. But I say it because I've been in this business as many years as I have, and I speak from experience.
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so let's think about, you said the black eye, that law enforcement has given itself. Could you elaborate?
I'd say this, historically,
Yeah.
what was the purpose of law enforcement? Ask yourself that question. The purpose of law enforcement was to do what? Not serve and protect, just the average folk. It was more or less serve and protect the what? The rich folk.
Yeah.
Look after their needs. But it has evolved. Law enforcement nowadays, we have adapted policing, community policing philosophy. And community policing philosophy is the community and the police work together. We can't solve a crime without the community. We need each other. We got to be more empathetic towards each other.
Ooh, that's a good question. So going into that, the community, you know, to bridge those gaps? Because do you feel like there's been a kind of a burn bridge philosophy?
I wouldn't say burn bridge philosophy. I would say that was a us versus them philosophy.
Gotcha.
Okay, because I say back in the day, not too long ago, you know, when you're a police officer, what you do, you come in, you take control, you enforce your authority, and you keep going from there. You didn't build relationships like we do today. Okay, you would answer a call or any type of enforcement, whether it be narcotic enforcement, traffic enforcement. You didn't try to get to know that person. Nowadays, we go into communities, you get out of cars. You know, you might have patrol, but patrol get out their cars and engage people in the community. Go sit on the porch, play horseshoes, get out there and play with the kids. We have officers doing that now.
Okay. So I guess my question, we don't see a whole lot of that though.
You won't see that because oftentimes, does that sell papers?
No.
No.
Okay. Now ask yourself this question. Do I want to see this officer playing football with this kid, having a good time with this kid, going in, engaging this family, buying this family Christmas at Christmas time, giving Christmas turkeys away? That doesn't sell papers. But something negative will. Because we always love that negativity sometimes.
So based on that, the role, how much of a role would you say the media and nowadays social media has played in how we view policing in the community?
It greatly. I mean, Black Lives Matter movement, what they say, defund the police, that wasn't what that meant, defund the police at all. People misconstrued that. When you take away, okay, when you first get in trouble, who do you call?
Police.
Police. That's the first person you call. You don't call for an ambulance. You don't call a doctor. If a snake is in your house, guess what we call? We get calls like that. I got a snake in my house. Guess what they don't call the police? I'm on the side of the road, y'all. Can somebody help me push my car out the way? It's the police. You know, we have a lot of instances now with mental health patients. If you go through the city of Spartanburg and look on Forest Street,
It's bad.
it's bad. But you have people up there that's reaching out to those folk. You know, our folk, trying to get them help. Some people don't want help. Period. They like the situation they're in. I was speaking with a young lady not too long ago. I said, you know, you're homeless. Why are you homeless? First of all, I don't have any responsibilities. I enjoy not having any responsibilities. I don't have a light bill, water bill, none of that. Mortgage. So guess what? I got to live out here in these, because I questioned about the elements. No, I can keep warm because I got a tent. I got a sleeping blanket. I got multiple layers of clothing. So I'm not concerned about that. I enjoy this freedom. But some of us fall on hard times based on what? Abuse, various abuse, whether it be alcohol or substance.
Wow.
Yeah. So going back to the defund the police, when you hear that term defund the police, what do you think about it and what do you feel about it?
What I feel about defund the police is it's misinterpreted.
Okay.
Okay, when you say shrink a police department, shrink their budget, you're actually shrinking resources. Now, can we divert resources to other things? Let's divert those resources. But you don't get away from various services.
That's facts.
Because that's what we do. We're a service industry. You know, believe it or not, my captain and I was talking today. You know, the various calls we go on. Do you think we said, well, dog, I want to go to this residence today just because I want to show up? You always call me to your house. And then when you don't get sometimes the result that you desire, you dislike me because I'm enforcing the law.
Wow. So,
Yeah.
What you call this podcast?
high definition podcast.
You're right. We in high definition right now.
I'm not mad at it.
Okay.
Not at all.
I think for me, it's kind of tying back into the thing with the media is the fact that it's been, like you said, negativity is what sells. And too much of the time, because of that negativity, it puts officers in a bad light.
All of us.
And like when people actually go back and look, cause I pulled some data points. Come to find out, because a lot of times, because one of the things I always hear, I'm tired of seeing us be killed by the police. I hear that a lot. Like people always saying, I'm tired of getting on TV and I'm seeing us being killed. I'm tired of getting on social media and I'm seeing us being killed. I just want to get your input on just some of the data points that I found. According to the Washington Post, and I'm gonna put for everybody that's watching, I'm gonna put these links in the comments, so you'll be able to go back and do your own research. Please go back, verify everything that we say. We're not just telling y'all this. Go back and verify it for yourself.
Please do.
But according to the Washington Post, I just want to get your insight. In 2018, it reported that 998 police killings were reported. Of those, only 232 black people were killed by the police, which comes to 23%. And of those, 23 were unharmed.
Is it unarmed?
Unarmed, yes, sir.
Okay.
In 2019, it was 999 reported killings. Of those, it was 252 who were killed by the police, but only 12 were unarmed. And then if you go to 2020, it was reported over 1,000 police killings. 243 were black. Only 18 were actually unharmed. And as of right now, in 2021, I checked this right before I came in here, there have been 341 reported killings. Of those, 66 were black, which comes to about 19%. And of that, only 4 were actually unarmed. So we always say we're getting on social media and saying that like police, all they after is killing black people. But according to some of this data, it's not all of us not unarmed. And also maybe how much of a responsibility do we have? Because it seems like we're not taking into account some of the things that we're doing versus, how they say, I'm tired of us seeing unarmed black people being killed. But according to this data, that's a low number. There's actually a whole lot of other things being taken into account as well. So I hope I said it where it can be, I hope I articulated it correctly. But it's just like, it's like police not coming out here just trying to kill black people, just to be killing them. So what do you say to us that's making those comments?
I would say this.
What do you say?
Data don't lie. The data don't, because that's how we get monies in our cities, based on data. That's how we, generate our funds based on data. But the thing is, when you blow something up or magnify it to the point that it seems like this is happening every day, that's where you're gonna see it. Especially if they don't do the research like you. But I'm gonna tell you this, like I was speaking earlier, community policing will resolve a lot of those issues, because you know your community, you know the people you're dealing with, you know what kind of ills they have, what kind of problems they're having, and plus they know you. And a lot of those unarmed people, what percentage of them suffer from some type of mental illness? Yeah. Okay, and then the family members know they have mental illnesses, but they respond to police anyway. Instead of, like I was telling y'all earlier, instead of getting some other resolve or getting other help from other places, your first resort is what?
Police.
I'm gonna call the police, because we that umbrella for everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Like I said, I was listening to the radio the other day because I was working the carnival at Westgate Mall. We got a call because the police was not the police, but a snake was in the bathroom. I would have been the wrong person to call for that one. But that call came out.
Yeah.
Now, but we have to respond, because what?
They called.
There's a call for service. But the thing is, we need to do better. We need to do better as far as how we gauge each other.
Yeah.
I say police and citizens.
Correct.
Because there's an implicit bias, there's an explicit bias.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And we got to learn to deal with those issues as a society.
How would you define, for people who may not know, how do you define implicit bias versus
Implicit
explicit?
are those biases that you have within that are subconscious. Explicit, the explicit biases you just display outwardly, period. Okay? You dislike somebody based on what? I don't like the shoes Torez got on right now. I don't like the little twist in his hair, and I'm gonna let him know. But I don't like them hot dog socks you got on over there. You feel me?
Yeah.
That's that explicit bias. But I don't like you based on those reasons solely. I do not like you other than the reason your hair, shoes, and your socks. It might have been based on the hot dog socks that I used to wear. Somebody tore them up, and I don't like yours because I don't have mine now.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So I guess the question I want to ask is, let's go back to the mental illness part. So when you guys get a call, should the person that makes that call explicitly say, hey, this so-and-so person deals with a mental illness, so that you guys know how to gauge it?
That oftentimes didn't come across. And I know I dispatched, they do a heck of a job trying to get as much information as possible. But oftentimes when they getting calls on the phone, people are so irate and disrespectful to them. They getting what they can and they disseminate to us. It's like sometimes it's the bare minimum, because the person on the other end that's calling isn't communicating correctly, or the way they should. They cussing at the dispatcher, get here quick, or they drunk themselves. You gotta understand there are a lot of variables that are involved in this business.
And I think we don't take that into account too, because going back to the whole social media and all that, especially when you only see a clip, you don't know what happened before. Excuse me. You don't know what happened before. You don't know what happened after. You don't know what, because the officer, when he's coming into that, he gotta
process.
He gotta weigh a whole lot of stuff out.
And the thing is, like you just say, I always tell people this. Just don't look at that little snippet and come to a conclusion. Get all the facts first, and then you make a decision based on all the facts that are gathered. Not based on his assumption or her assumption, based on what you see as far as evidence is concerned.
So the evidence, that's a big thing. So I'm trying to word this correctly. The public, sometimes we outcry. We want the information, all the information, like displayed, so we can make that make that assessment. And I know that sometimes you have to keep that stuff in house. So what do you say to those who are like always like, look, we want the body cam footage, we want all the information? Like, what do you say to those folks?
I would say this: the information that can be provided will be provided. But you got to understand, sometimes there's an open investigation, and you don't want to taint a jury or anybody that might have to try a case based on what they've seen that they should have seen. Everybody deserves due process.
I agree.
Period. I don't care who it is. You deserve due process.
So for someone that's watching, I get pulled over by the police. Bam. The cell phone, it automatically comes out. Which is that, some people might not know, is that legal? Is it illegal to do that?
To record?
Yes, sir.
You can. That's your right to record. But the thing is, I'm like this. Like I said, I've been doing this business almost 31 years. And I try to treat people fairly. That's my mission, is to treat you fairly. If you allow me to treat you fairly. I'm not going to be disrespectful to you, so don't be disrespectful to me. I'm human too.
Yeah.
Before you see a badge, gun, what do you see?
You're human.
And no, what else do you see?
Oh.
What you see?
You're black.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I got to empathize with you. And other people got to empathize with you also. Do I get nervous based on what I've seen and based on what I've heard? Sure I do. Even me. Because you don't know what kind of day this guy's had. You don't know what kind of experiences he's lived through. But you always got to govern yourself, like they say, accordingly.
Yeah.
If I get stopped by the police, now I'm the police. My hands on the steering wheel. I'm not making no furtive movement. I'm waiting till he get to the car to give the instructions. Some people like to be argumentative. What you pulling me over for? They're going to tell you why they pulled you over. If they decide to give you a citation, warning, or have a good day. But your interaction oftentimes dictates how that thing's going to go. Oftentimes the officer's going to just, you think we love writing tickets? You think we just love pulling people just for the heck of it? No. Oftentimes a lot of officers just want to warn you, hey, will you slow down for me, please? They slow down because of what? They want to reduce that the rate of accidents. We're here for a purpose, especially in the streets. Yeah.
And I was listening to, it was a couple years ago on Undisputed with Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. He's talking about, Shannon was mentioning how when you get pulled over, listen, I'm trying to get home, that police officer trying to get home. Do what you need to do so that y'all make sure both of y'all get home. like you just said, a lot of times people want to be argumentative, but like you also said, we forget the fact that outside that badge, you're human as well.
Exactly.
You got a family you want to get home to.
Let me ask you this. There was a video, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, a young lady in California that was a teacher.
Yeah.
That was stopped.
Yeah.
And did you see how that officer conducted himself?
Yes, sir.
But the thing is, had he not had on the body cam, that might have went totally wrong for him because she complained. Okay, but who was wrong in that situation?
What I saw was her.
Who was disrespectful in that situation?
Yeah.
And he said, ma'am, I pulled you over because you're not supposed to be operating your phone while you're driving. Mm-hmm. You see how much tact he had, how much professionalism he exhibited during that traffic stop, you know? And that's what you got to look at. But I mean, I'm gonna ask you this: did you see that on the news a lot?
No.
Mm-mm.
But you saw a snippet of it on social media, didn't you?
Definitely.
Just a snippet.
Yeah.
But that wasn't on the news. And this officer right here ran into this problem with this lady right here, and the way she treated him was subhuman.
Yeah.
You Mexican, you're not. Come on, now, why would you say that?
Yeah.
Now, if he had did that to you, how would you feel?
Oh, we were still.
You got to understand, you know. And then what if you had a family member that was a police officer?
Oh, I do.
Put yourself in that situation. You know, what if it was your father, your mother, your sister, brother? You know, that was the police officer,
Yeah.
and that citizen responded that way. That's what you got to, you know.
Yeah.
All of us in this world together, we got to share the piece of space together, you know, and it behooves all of us to try to get along.
That's facts. I think that it's the heart condition of a lot of us that we, like you said, we conduct ourselves a specific way.
Couldn't get that word out.
I can never get that word out. But you know, like I said, we forget that at the end of the day, we're all human beings.
Exactly.
And we're all deserving of respect, regardless of X, Y, Z, A, B, C. And when we lose sight of that, that's when everything becomes a problem.
Exactly. I'm going to tell you this. There are a lot of homeless people that's on North Forest Street near the soup kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
But you know something? When I roll up in there, I treat them just as well as I would treat somebody that lived on the east side, that had money, because they deserve that treatment. I know them by their first name. They know me by my first name. And they know if they needed anything that I could provide for them, I would, and I will. That's the kind of relationship you try to establish,
Right.
you know. But I'm going to tell you, when I patrolled on the north side, which was predominantly a high-crime area.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you encounter people there back in the day, usually it was because what? They needed the police and somebody was going to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you didn't do what they want you to do, you get complained on, fussed at, cussed at, a roach would fly on you from the house.
Yeah.
Then I go on the other side, thank you, sir. Appreciate all your help. Would you like a ham sandwich? Would you like a Pepsi? That's the difference in the treatment.
So speaking of the north side, there's a $1 million grant that was approved for the Highland area. Now, if anybody doesn't know about that, do your research on it. It was on WSBA, but
We'll post a link.
we will post a link. So given that there's money that is going to be allocated to an area that is heavily crime ridden, what are your hopes and expectation for that money, to how that money to be spent and allocated within that community?
I would hope they diversify the money. You got stakeholders. Now, when I say stakeholders, I mean homeowners that deserve the right to be secure and safe within their homes.
Yes.
But then when you I would say the crime over there, from a lot of people that often don't live there, they bring that trouble there. And I'm looking at how different people are coming in that community, buying up those dilapidated houses, rehabbing them, putting them up for rent or sale. But yet, the cats that say, I'm from Highland, I'm from the land, HG, you're not investing nothing. Why would you let somebody come outside your community that you say, that you claim, that you love so much? Won't you invest in it in a positive way?
Facts.
But you sitting out here, you nickel and diming, whatever you're doing is illegal, and you're not investing. You're terrorizing the older folk there that have houses there, that just want to live in peace. But every night they hearing gunshots, ducking because somebody's shooting up a house near them. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
it's taking a personal responsibility to see your community thrive.
Exactly.
That's what it's got to be.
That's the way communities used to do. We're gonna take a personal interest in our community. You make sure your yard is kept, your house is kept. If not, guess who I'm gonna send by? If you don't have anybody to cut your grass, my son will cut your grass for you.
Facts. Yeah.
Period. You need your weeds cut down, we got you. Now you got to think about when they have these natural disasters, we get behind each other, neighbors get behind each other, come in with chainsaws and everything, right? And they help clear our properties, clear up the houses and everything.
Yeah.
That's what we got to get back to. We got to get back to helping each other in the community.
So it's got to be community initiative and based.
But the thing is, when you have those neighborhood watch meetings, you just can't have the neighborhood president and secretary there.
Facts.
Okay, you got to have everybody there that's a stakeholder or renting there, so you can understand what am I going to get out of this to better my family. What am I going to get out of this to better my neighborhood so my kids can come out here on their big wheels, bicycles, and ride freely in that nice Stewart Park over here. This nice basketball court that we just redone, the Thornton Center, the Bethlehem Center, that's a staple over there.
Yeah.
That guess what? Provide free services, just about everything you can get. Provide resume services.
Yes.
Job skills. You got, I hate to say it, God forbid, Omega Psi Phi got a bridge builders over there as far as a mentoring group.
Yeah.
Ernest Rice is a great guy, and Omega's there. They do an excellent job. We got a mentoring program. My brother's keeper. We mentored at Carver, but now we're going to be community based, and y'all will probably hear about it. And the clergy initiative, they help us. There's a lot of wisdom to be gained out there, but you got to sit down and try to get it. There's nobody going to sit you down and open the top of your head and pour it in there.
Right.
You got to be willing, instead of getting up, taking your kid to the bus stop and your bonnet and slippers on, going back to bed, getting back up at 2:15 or 2:30. And brothers, you got to take responsibility for your neighborhoods too. The kids that you're visiting, you got to make sure they're doing the right thing. You just can't pop in and then pop out.
Do you think one of the issues with the community is maybe the breakdown of the family?
It is. But the thing is, we got to do a better job of being responsible for our families ourselves. A lot of the guys now that stayed in trouble, guess who having kids now? They are. Guess who they coming to? Spurge, can you help me with my teenage man? I can't do nothing with them. They're looking at the example that you set. Okay? Now you want me to fix the issue that you didn't take time to fix yourself. You want the police department to fix your issue. Let me ask you this. We always call a police officer when we can't resolve our own situation. How about developing some skills that'll help you resolve your own situation? Because you got Triple P. Triple P is a parenting class. Let me communicate with my kid a different way. Because what I'm doing is it's not working. Okay, when you go through various things like DJJ, they recommend stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you got to take the initiative to say, look, I want better for me, and I want better for them. So I'm going to participate in these classes, and I'm not going to go back to sleep and get back up when it's time for them to get off the bus. And then I'm going to get out and get going in the streets. You got to think about it, because I'm going to tell you something, brothers. Y'all are relatively young, and Pastor could tell you, time flies just like that.
Oh, it does.
Oh, yeah.
Just like that, So you gotta prepare yourself now, at a young age, to leave that legacy for what your seed.
Working on it.
I depend on you, Torez. I'm depending on you, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, look, it's better rise for the child. That's my motto. But also, I understand that I can talk to my child. He means too. He understands.
Now's the time to talk.
That's what I'm doing. I'm
Now's
talking
the
to
time.
him. Like, I talk to him. I'm like, you can't do this, X, Y, Z. And he asked the question why. Yeah. I found myself getting angry one time with him because he said why. And I was like, dang, he's just wanting to know why he can't do this. And a lot of times.
But did you ever say why to your dad?
I did. I probably did.
I know I did.
I know I didn't. I didn't because what he said, that was it.
That was it.
That was it.
His law.
I respect it. Well, you know something? He was fair, though, because during his discipline, he would speak wisdom into me as he was sparing that rod.
Yeah.
You know, he was sitting, he would have a conversation. And I'll be like, dang, but I'm listening. But it took root.
Yeah. I mean, train up a child, the way they go, they won't depart from when they get older.
Exactly.
I mean, the words say that. So, yeah. Wow.
How much does your morality and your spirituality, how much of a role does that play in you as a law enforcement officer?
A great deal. Just about all. Because without that, spirituality and morality, you shouldn't be in this business at all. Because you got to understand, you know, we take for granted that, yeah, we're going home. But how many officers that didn't make it home, that thought they were going to be home that afternoon or that evening or that morning? A lot.
Wow.
You feel there's enough accountability within the police force?
What?
Enough accountability?
Accountability to our community or to
With
each other?
With each other.
We need to be more accountable towards each other and our community.
Right.
Both.
Both.
Because if you look at the temperament of in the world now, the world is demanding what? Accountability, responsibility, and we got to adhere to that. If not, guess what? You're gonna suffer some consequences. This job is not an easy job. It's a good job. It's a good career, you know, for those who want to serve. Because guess you don't get a heck of a lot of money in this business, but you get a lot of reward in the people that you serve. My greatest reward is not the amount of bad guys that I've locked up. And trust me when I tell you, I've locked up a lot of bad guys. But my greatest reward is when I see a young man that comes back to me, Officer Spurgeon, man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
I mean, that type of influence, I can't remember where I heard this stat from. I'm going to try to find it. They say, on average, a person is going to influence at least 7 people in their lifetime. So you doing this type of career, and like you just said, you got people coming back to you. So you influence, let's just say you influence only 7 dudes, but then they go out and influence 7 more. Now that's multiplied. What type of an impact could we make by doing that type, not just as an officer, but, you know, even us with this platform, us having a conversation, or even just me and him as a father with our kids, or a teacher at the school. You know, what type of influence can you now have on those through your own personal career? And, you know, I think that's something that's very powerful that we don't think about because of what we see on TV. We always see the bad, but do we ever focus on the good?
We don't. Like I told you, in our agency, and I speak for, you know, our chief, he does an excellent job as promoting community policing. You know, he spoke the other day with my brother's keeper. We had a private ceremony with Son of Ice. He did a rap video. He did a rap video with some of our young guys and some of our police officers. And the message, man, is just so powerful. When you see it, it's like, wow. Because you see them at the skating rink, not the skating, the skateboard place. And the police, the initial response is, man, they're going to get out and harass me. But that wasn't what it was about. It was about getting out and learning those young men. It was powerful.
Yeah, we got to get him on. Son of Ice.
Good brother.
We got to get him on.
He stay in my neighborhood.
See, look at that. See,
I got
look at that. He right around the corner. Look at that. But yeah.
Me and him grew up together anyway. I got it.
Yeah.
We'll hook that up.
Yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to
Siege.
because I know
Siege is great.
Yeah,
Siege is a great brother.
Yeah.
Siege is impactful. Not only Siege, but Terrence also.
Yeah.
Yes.
Terrence.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you, a brother that's no longer with us, the Mad Artist.
Yeah.
Man, we graduated with him.
That brother,
Rodriguez, man.
Rodriguez, when we was doing our summer program, our youth empowerment program with the City of Spartanburg, he would come in and he would bring his own canvases and paint for us, for our kids, and he would, you know, deliver a message to them. And it was just so impactful, and it was just sad to see that young brother leave so early. You know, it was terrible.
But he left a lasting legacy, man. I'm telling you, the impact, just to, you know, I always say give your people their flowers while they're here.
Exactly.
And to see the impact that followed what happened, you knew that he left something. He left something here, and I'm hoping that somebody can the baton that he placed, somebody can grab it and run with it. Because, and I'm starting to see that.
That's gonna be a hard run.
That's gonna be a hard run. It's gonna be a hard run.
race, bro.
But you know what though? I always believe that there are people that watch us and they see what we do and they're like, they're doing what they're doing to set a stage for me to do better. Yeah. So I'm hoping that, I mean, it might be a while, but I'm hoping somebody can like pick that up and really continue it and even expound upon it.
Good.
So we pretty much hit everything. You got anything else you want to hit? No. I do have one lasting question. Go ahead. Go ahead.
How can we, I guess if you want to look at the camera, or how can we better, I know you talk about community policing, but right now there's such a divide. Like you said earlier, it's us versus them, especially with us in the African American community. It's like, police, y'all stay over there, and we gonna stay over here. How can we kind of help bridge that gap some more?
You bridge that gap by engaging one another, I would say, and I think we do enough of that. We got a citizen police academy that we put on to let citizens learn what our agency actually does. We send them on various scenarios that police encounter. They ride with the police, and see that will create. Take away that division, because once I see what you do and how you do it, I have a better understanding. Because when you don't have an understanding, you have ignorance about it, you develop your own thoughts. And most times those thoughts are not the right thoughts. Yeah. And that's what I tell my wife. I says, look, if you want to know what the police do, I know you're married to the police, and it's different at our house because she's the police at our house. But the thing is,
I understand that.
But the thing is, learn what we actually do before you pass judgment. And always, I understand the great divide that's going on in the world in various other states, but we don't have it here in the city of Spartanburg. We don't have it here because I know we try our best to offer the best services we can to our citizens here.
That's facts.
Yeah.
And that's just not, trying to sell. That's the truth, because that's what we work on.
Yeah.
So my last question is, do y'all actually like donuts?
Let me share this with you. No, that's a good point. I know you could look at me right now and say, that brother's probably ate a bunch of donuts. But that's not true. Your pastor could tell you that comes with age and sitting around. You're going to experience it, because I'm looking at you now. You're a young cat. You about to blow up. Watch. Just watch. Now,
I'm getting that now.
And that was my point. Do you like donuts?
Nah, I don't like them that much.
That's my point. Yeah. I don't like them, but guess what? But you like everything else.
Are you darn straight about that?
But you love a good cookout, don't you?
You know it. I throw one good myself.
That's what's up.
Hey, nah, I thought I'd just add that because it's lighthearted.
Nah, bro. I didn't like going to Dunkin' Donuts just on the stereotype. Yeah. Period. My grandson, he'll put them away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, Officer Spurgeon, is there anything you wanted to say to the community? Just what's some way, or even as you get your last word, what's some ways that can people contact you if they want to come out for you to have a conversation with a group of people? How can they go about doing that?
Well, you can contact me through the city at 864-596-2035 or rspurgeon@cityofspartanburg.org. And I'd like to say this. I would like for our parents to take responsibility for our kids, because that's what I do. I work in juvenile services. And like I said, this weekend, we had a big brawl with kids out there. I'm talking 16 to 11. Your kids shouldn't go unsupervised at that age at a mall, especially with the climate the way it is now. We had a 4-year-old to get lost because she was unattended with some other teenage girls. But the thing is, if I were a person that preyed on kids, she would be on somebody's milk carton. right now, but based on them not watching the kid like they were supposed to. I just want us to be, cognizant of being responsible for who we are and what we are. And always, with us, understand your heritage, your rich heritage that you actually have, and don't take it for granted because we have lost our way.
Amen.
Get yourself together. And when I say get yourself, we need to get ourselves together and help each other out in all we can, whether it be finances, wisdom. Give me a hand up instead of pushing me down.
Wow. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for this conversation.
Well, I said that right along up.
Definitely.
That's no problem. Y'all will be surprised. You think your hair is twisted now?
I get a vest though, right? I get a vest.
You ain't gonna need one.
I ain't gonna need one. Okay, bet. All right.
You see, you're not even in the car and you want a vest. That's my point. You're not in the car and want a vest. We got you.
Listen, we definitely got to set.
I definitely got to set that up. Yeah.
Listen, everybody, I hope this was a good conversation starter for you. Please share this. Please talk about it with your kids. I know I'm going to be talking about it with mine.
Definitely going to be talking about it.
Listen, this is High Definition Podcast. I'm Maurice.
I'm Torez.
And y'all remember to live life
From the highest definition.
We're going to catch y'all on the next episode.